All right. So now in seventh year of Hijrat, we have three major events, letters that Nabi Karim sent to different leaders of different regions. Then there was this Khyber expedition. Then, because we've studied Treaty of Hudaybiyah, which took place in sixth year of Hijrat, so it was promised in Treaty of Hudaybiyah that Muslims at that year they'll return back to Medina and they'll come next year to perform Umrah, which was going to be seventh year of Hijrat. So Muslims were expected to leave and then come back next year just for 3 days. So these were the three major events that took place in seventh year of Hijrat. Okay. So, starting off with letters, that Nabi Karim invited rulers and kings of different countries to embrace Islam. The letter was sent to Roman Emperor, Emperor of Persia, Emperor of Abyssinia, ruler of Egypt, ruler of Bahrain, Oman. Some of them accepted Islam, some rejected the message, while some of them responded by sending gifts. So Nabi Karim sent the invitation to these rulers and to these kings so that they could accept Islam. And eventually, if they'll accept Islam, then their followers and those who were living in those regions, they will also accept Islam. So it was an effort made by Nabi Karim to preach or to propagate Islam in different regions other than Saudi Arabia, where he was living. ठीक है. So there were three reactions that we got after this incident, that some of the rulers they accepted Islam, some did not, and some just sent the gift and they did not respond, and they neither accepted, they neither rejected. So they just sent gifts and that's it. However, there was just one emperor who was emperor of Persia. He not only he accepted, rather he did not accept Islam, rather he insulted Nabi Karim, he insulted the message, and he also tore the letter into pieces. His name was Khusro Parvez. You need to remember this because he was the only one who responded in this disrespectful manner. It's also written over here that only the emperor of Persia insulted the message of Nabi Karim, tore the letter off into the pieces, and when Nabi Karim came to know about it, he predicted that Khusro, who was the emperor, his kingdom will end soon. And this is exactly what happened, that his son, Khusro's son, killed him eventually. However, there was just one ruler of Egypt. He sent Hazrat Maria Kiptia as gift. So back in that time, there was this custom of exchanging women. So eventually, Hazrat Maria Kiptia, Nabi Karim married Maria Kiptia, and she was the only woman after Sayyidina Khadija Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu, who had the son of Nabi Karim. Also, he also died, but she is the other woman with whom Nabi Karim has a son. Tika, so just remember, we'll also study about her in the first Islamic community. But yeah, this is the significant event that took place in seventh year of Hijrat, that Nabi Karim sent letters, some of them accepted, some of them did not accept, and some sent gifts. And one of them sent Hazrat Maria Kiptiya. Okay. Then Khyber expedition took place. Okay, the Jewish tribes like Banu Nazir, they were exiled from Medina. They settled in Khyber, where they kept on plotting against Prophet and Muslims. They took Treaty of Hudaybiyah as a sign of weakness of Muslims, so they began to prepare themselves to attack Medina Tayyibah. Holy Prophet marched with an army of 1600 men. So Jews shut themselves in seven fortresses. So this is a very important information. ठीक है, that the Muslim army was of 1600 men, and the Jews shut themselves with an army of 20,000 men who kept on attacking from inside by arrows. Holy Prophet ordered to attack, so Muslims captured all the fortresses, but the fight took 20 more days when Qamus, the strongest fort, was to capture. Eventually, the strongest fort was captured by Hazrat Ali. He was sent, and he did so by killing Marhab. He was the warrior of Jews, after which Jews surrendered. So Jews asked Prophet to grant them peace, so Prophet allowed them to stay in Khyber. So this was the Khyber expedition that took place against the Jews of Banu Nazir as they were plotting against Muslims. and they eventually they fought in such a covert manner that they shut themselves and they were attacking from inside. And the Muslim army was able to capture all of their forts except for the strongest one, which was Qamus, and it was captured by Hazrat Ali. And eventually, the warrior of Jews, Marhab, was killed by Hazrat Ali, and then the Jews surrendered. So this is what this is you need to remember for Khyber expedition. The Jews did not like the teachings of Islam as they were money lenders who could charge huge interest, while Islam forbade interest. So Islam is a very practical deen. It required many changes, and Quraysh and Jews, both of them, were not ready to accept such huge changes which could not benefit them. Rather, they were so indulged in doing unlawful things that they did not like the idea of accepting Islam, because Islam is a religion which differentiates between right and wrong, and these people were continuously doing wrong for so many years that it was so difficult for them to leave all those unlawful habits. Secondly, Jews felt threatened by growing power of Islam. This is why they kept on plotting against Islam, Prophet, and Muslims. Then the last event that took place in 7th year of Hijrat was Muslims, as per treaty, were allowed the treaty which we just mentioned, Treaty of Hudaybiyah. They were allowed to perform Umrah and to stay for 3 days in Makkah. Muslims went unarmed and performed Umrah. Then comes the 8th year of Hijrat. So very important events took place in 8th year of Hijrat, and this is personally my favorite because in this you can see that conquest of Makkah took place, which was a very beautiful event. Four of the major events that were Battle of Muta, conquest of Makkah, Battle of Hunain, and siege of Taif. So these events took place in 8th year of Hijrat. So Battle of Muta, a Christian messenger was sent to Roman emperor by Holy Prophet who was killed at Muta. It's a place. And so Prophet sent an army of 3,000 men, which resulted in martyrdom of Zaid bin Haris, who was he was like the son to Nabi Karim, and Hazrat Jafar and Abdullah bin Rawaha. Later on, Khalid bin Walid defeated the army. So it was against the Roman emperor. Battle of Muta was against the Roman emperor. And in this battle, Zaid bin Haris, Hazrat Jafar, and Abdullah bin Rawaha were killed, and eventually Khalid bin Walid, who accepted Islam right after Treaty of Hudaybiyah, he was sent and he defeated the army. So eventually Muslims won this one. And then conquest of Makkah took place. That Khuzar tribe joined Muslims while Banu Bakr joined Quraysh. The Quraysh broke Treaty of Hudaybiyah because, like I said, that they were so cunning that they made this Treaty of Hudaybiyah in which they said that no war will take place for 10 years. But eventually they broke the treaty and they became ally with Banu Bakr and killed men of Khuzar tribe. So you need to remember what exactly happened. There were two other tribes that were at war, Banu Bakr and Khuzar tribe. So a few men of Banu Bakr killed men of Khuzar tribe. So Khuzar tribe asked Nabi Karim for protection. So Prophet sent a messenger to Quraysh with few proposals. A war was not suggested in the first hand. Nabi Karim sent a proposal to Quraysh that either pay the blood money. Blood money means that if you have killed someone, then you need to pay their blood money to their families, or to dissolve alliance with Banu Bakr because Banu Bakr was the ally of Quraysh, or to dissolve Treaty of Hudaybiyah. So these were the three proposals that Nabi Karim offered to Quraysh, either to pay blood money or to dissolve alliance with Banu Bakr who killed the man of Khuzar tribe, or to dissolve the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. So Quraysh dissolved the treaty and Prophet ordered for jihad. So they opted to dissolve Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Then Prophet left with an army of 10,000 men and divided them into four groups. Okay? So there were 10,000 men and they were divided into four groups with instructions that blood should not be shed unless they were attacked. So Nabi Karim did not want this battle to take place. He said that no blood should be shed. So we as Muslims, we should never be the first one to attack anyone. If any attack takes place on us, only then we should attack. We should not shed blood. We should not shed blood out of any of our thrill or anything like that. So we should be at the defending end rather than attacking end. Okay? The unit under Khalid bin Walid was attacked by Quraysh, so they attacked back. Holy Prophet, before entering Makkah, granted pardon except for 16 people and said that anyone who will take refuge in Abu Sufyan's home will be safe, and if anyone laid down their arms will also remain safe. So look at the mercy that Nabi Karim has in his heart. He said that anyone who will stay in the house of Abu Sufyan, he will not be attacked from the Muslim side. And if anyone who will put down their arms, if anyone will put down their weapons, then he will also not be attacked by the Muslims. So the army of Muslims was peaceful, and when Prophet entered Makkah, because eventually this is how we want that when Prophet entered Makkah, he performed tawaf of Kaaba and destroyed 316 idols that were present in Kaaba. So Quran says, and say truth has now arrived and falsehood perished, for falsehood is by its nature bound to perish. So you need to remember this reference. It's a very beautiful reference that whenever truth is always given victory and falsehood will always be perished. So we need to be mindful of the fact that we are always on the right side, because eventually if we, even if we think that staying on the right side will cause us harm or it will cause us disrespect, it's not going to happen, because eventually truth is something which will always win, because it's promised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When prophets addressed Quraysh, he asked what treatment they could expect at his hand. Since now Nabi Karim had gone, so he was asking the Quraysh that now what do you expect, that how am I going to treat you? So they replied that you are a noble brother and a noble cousin. Prophet replied, there shall be no reproach against you this day, go, you are free. So imagine how merciful he was that he did not take any revenge. He said that go, you are free. Prophet stayed in Makkah for 15 days, purified the Kaaba, and asked Hazrat Bilal to announce Azan. Many people embraced Islam, and Prophet left after appointing governor of Makkah. So he returned back to Medina Tayyibah. Now comes Battle of Hunain. The Prophet came to know that tribes of Taif have joined hands against Muslims. So he gathered an army of 12,000 men. The enemy army planned to attack Muslims secretly as they posted archers in secret places. When Muslims were attacked, they began to retreat, but then Prophet called them and they rallied their forces, which converted their defeat into victory. Muslims took 6,000 captives, 24,000 camels, and 40,000 goats. So these are the spoils of war that we get after winning any battle. Then siege of Taif. Some enemy took refuge in Taif. So Prophet deputed a small army which defeated them. Prophet with his own army led 20-day siege where enemy took refuge, and then it was lifted. Whole Taif accepted Islam in 9 years. So remember in when we were doing life in Makkah, Nabi Karim did not curse people of Taif. Rather, he prayed that they should accept Islam, and eventually, this is what happened. The whole Taif accepted Islam in 9 years. 9 years means ninth year after Hijri. Then, in ninth year of Hijra, we just have one event, Tabuk expedition. So, Tabuk expedition was also against the Roman Emperor, because Roman Emperor had gathered huge army against Muslims. So, Prophet ordered to prepare for this new challenge, and Medina was hit by scarcity of water, intense heat, and famine. So, Holy Prophet asked for donation, and Hazrat Usman gave 1,000 gold dinars. Hazrat Umar gave half of his cash, and Hazrat Abu Bakr gave everything that he had. Prophet left with an army of 30,000 men and reached Tabuk. The journey was difficult, but Muslims remained steadfast. Romans got demoralized upon seeing the strength of Muslims and dispersed without fighting. Prophet stayed at Tabuk for 20 days and many people accepted Islam. This was the last expedition in which Prophet took part. And then in the 10th year of Hijrat, farewell and sermon of Prophet took place, which means that Hajj, this last year Hajj was performed by Nabi Karim. And now for this year, you need to remember the entire sermon, because it usually comes for 10 minutes and you have to write the entire sermon in the same wordings. So I'll suggest that start memorizing this now, because it's very huge and it will take time for you to remember it. So in farewell, what happened was Holy Prophet performed Hajjatul Wida with 1,14,000 men. The Prophet gave his last sermon in Arafat. He said, O people, lend me an attentive ear, for I know not whether after this year I shall ever be amongst you again. Therefore, listen carefully to what I am saying and take these words to those who could not be present here today. So, Nabi Karim knew that after this, he had already preached Islam. His mission was now going to complete. So, he wanted people to listen to him carefully because he was not sure that if he'll be alive next year or not. And this is what exactly happened, that in 11th year of Hijrat, Nabi Karim passed away. So, Nabi Karim mentioned that listen to me carefully, and whatever I'm saying, you need to convey my words to those who are not present here. Then, O people, just as you regard this month, this day, this city as sacred, so regard the life and property of every Muslim. So Nabi Karim ensured that the life and property of every Muslim should be protected. Return the goods, meaning we should be very mindful when we take amanat, and we should never breach the trust. If anyone has given us anything, we should return it back to their rightful owners. Hurt no one so that no one may hurt you. Remember that you'll indeed meet your Lord and that He will indeed reckon your deeds. So we need to have this firm belief in our hearts that eventually we are going to meet our Lord on Yawm al Qiyamah, and all of our deeds will have to be answerable for whatever we have done in this world. And then Allah has forbidden you to take usury. Therefore, all interest obligations shall henceforth be waived, that we should be very mindful when we are doing our financial transactions, and we should never indulge ourselves into taking interest or any unlawful means of earning. We should never indulge in it, and that your capital is yours to keep. You will neither inflict nor suffer any inequality. Allah has judged that there shall be no interest, and that all interest due to Abbas ibn al-Muttalib be waived. Every right arising out of homicide in pre-Islamic days is henceforth waived, and the first such right that I waive is that arising from the murder of Rabia ibn al-Harithiyah. O men, the unbelievers indulge in tampering with the calendar in order to make permissible that which Allah has forbade, and to prohibit what Allah has made permissible. With Allah, the months are 12 in number, four of them are holy. There are successive, and one occurs singly between the months of Jumada and Shaban. Then, be aware of Shaitan for the safety of your religion. He has lost all hope that he'll be able to lead you astray in big things, so be aware of following him in small things. O people, it is true that you have certain rights with regard to your women, but they also have rights over you. Remember that you have taken them as your wives only under Allah's trust and with His permission. If they abide by your right, then to them belongs the right to be fed and clothed in kindness. So it means that Nabi Karim is mentioning that how um, women are of highest regards, and that men should take care of women. And if any man has a wife, then he has only taken her under Allah Ta'ala's trust and with his permission, which is the contract of nikah. And the men are responsible for their wives, and that they have to provide sustenance for them, and they have to treat them with kindness. So imagine that before Nabi Karim, the status of women was so inferior. And it is Islam, it is the beauty of Islam that has given women such huge rights and such huge status that we do not need to worry about our sustenance. Rather, the men who are responsible for us, they are responsible to provide sustenance. And do treat your women well and be kind to them, for they are your partners and committed helpers, and it is your right that they do not make friends with anyone of whom you do not approve, as well as never do to be unjust. O people, listen to me in earnest, worship Allah, say your five daily prayers, fast during month of Ramadan, and give your wealth in zakat. Perform Hajj if you can afford it. All mankind is from Adam and Eve, and Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab. Also, a white has no superiority over a black, nor a black has any superiority over a white, except by piety and good action. Learn that every Muslim is a brother to every Muslim, and that the Muslims constitute one brotherhood. Nothing shall be legitimate to a Muslim which belongs to a fellow Muslim unless it was given freely and willingly. So that we need to remain mindful that we do not unlawfully capture the things or belongings of our fellow brothers and claim it to be ours unless that person, that Muslim fellow, has given his particular thing to us with his whole willingness. Do not therefore do injustice to yourselves. Remember, one day you will meet Allah and answer your deeds, so be aware, do not astray from the path of righteousness after I am gone. O people, no prophet or apostle will come after me, and no new faith will be born. Reason well, therefore, O people, and understand words that I convey to you. I leave behind me two things, the Quran and the Sunnah, and if you follow these, you'll never go astray. All those who listen to me shall pass on my words to others, and those to others again. And may the last ones understand my words better than those who listen to me directly. O Allah, be my witness that I have conveyed your message to your people. As part of the sermon, the Prophet recited to them revelation from Allah, which had just been received and which completed the Quran, for it was the last passage to be revealed. And you need to remember this. This is very important as this is the last revelation that came to Nabi Kareem, and this marked the completion of Quran. This day that disbelievers despair of prevailing against your religion, so fear them not, but fear me, Allah. This day have I perfected for you your religion and fulfilled my favor upon you, and it has been my good pleasure to choose Islam for you as your religion. This was Prophet's last Hajj, and this sermon is also called Universal Charter of Human Rights. Women were given a higher status in Arabia for the very first time, and Prophet laid emphasis on the duties of Muslims. He knew his mission was completed, and it was the ending of his existence on earth. And in the 11th year of Hijrat, Holy Prophet became ill and took permission from all of his wives to shift in Hazrat Aisha's apartment. He breathed his last day on 13th day of his illness, and at this time of his death, he was 63 years old. So this marks the completion of your life in Medina. Alhamdulillah, we are done with question 3 of your paper 1. And now we are just left with the last question, which is of First Islamic Community. It's going to be the last question of paper 1, and inshallah we'll begin it in the next week on Saturday. ठीक है, so do we have any questions?
मैम जो हमने 10th ईयर में जितने भी आपने रेफरेंसेस लिखी हैं आर दीज सेइंग ऑफ होली प्रॉफिट राइट?
ये जितने भी अभी हमने पढ़े, yes, all of them.
जी। एंड मैम ये अगर कोई क्वेश्चन आ जाए हमें सारी लिखनी पड़ेंगी या लाइक हम चूज कर सकते हैं?
ये सारा आपको लिखना होगा बिकॉज सरमन का क्वेश्चन ही अलग आता है. सरमन कभी भी किसी के साथ मिलकर नहीं आता. तो इन सरमन वाला क्वेश्चन 10 मार्क्स में, यू नीड टू राइट द इंटायर सरमन.
जी ओके
ठीक है,
टीचर टेस्ट लेना, टेस्ट अगले हफ्ते.
अगले हफ्ते टेस्ट लूं. आई वाज थिंकिंग
जी
कि
मिस.
पहले सारा आपको पेपर 1 करा दूं, तो पेपर 1 का सारा एक साथ कंबाइन करके ले लूं.
चले सही है मिस.
बिकॉज एक पेपर तो एटलीस्ट आप लोग फिर करना स्टार्ट करो ना, बिकॉज फिर कैलिप्स बहुत बड़ा है, उसको हमें टाइम लगेगा करने में. तो ये मेरे है
जी
माइंड
मिस.
में, टेस्ट तो मैंने लेना ही है. जी,
अल्लाह हाफिज।
ओके,
अल्लाह
अल्लाह
हाफिज.
हाफिज.